Greetings, Mark Yates. How are you? Mark Yates says, "What up, Total OS?"
What's up?
All right, Sakis, how are you? You should definitely take a look at Ubuntu Budgie. You know, the next
I
Budgie I'm going to
have.
look at is Solus Budgie. Yeah.
Okay.
What's your thought of Budgie? Give me your thought on Budgie.
I've tested it. I thought it was nice, user-friendly looking, briefly when I tested it. I think it's fine. I think, isn't Solus the default desktop, isn't it, Budgie? I
I
think, if I'm
believe,
not
yeah, I
mistaken.
believe Solus developed
Okay.
Budgie. I
Okay.
think.
All right. Okay. Good. No, I think it's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I ran a Budgie on Manjaro and it was awesome. I love that system. So I really want to try it. Should we just go ahead and jump maybe into Solus right now while we're kind of on that news? It's one of the things on our list. So
Might as
Solus,
well.
good or bad? Have you used it any extensive time?
I've tested it. My first impression was I thought it looked pretty good. It's still new. It didn't. I think at the time it didn't have all the software apps that we tend to use. But that may have changed. Of course, on my channel, you guys voted Solus #1 distro of the year. Ubuntu Mate, Linux Mint, they were like a close second, third. But Solus, I think it's definitely new. It hasn't been around that long. Is this the first year or second year? I can't remember.
I don't
Maybe
remember.
second year. But from what I saw, I liked. I can't recommend it yet for a beginner because it's too new. And I think you tried the GNOME version, and you were very diplomatic about it, about how you didn't like it.
Yeah.
I don't care for GNOME, period.
I,
Right now, things may
I,
change, but
yeah.
yeah.
I know I don't like GNOME, and so I was definitely not letting that bias my opinion on Solus. I just had too many problems on Solus, and I really, really, really wanted it to work. I want to include Solus on that top distros for new Linux users. I'm not sure I can do it because of the problems I mentioned in the video. The thing just will not always start up right. And several of the software things, and if the weren't working right, and if the software, there's some software package has a bug, it like freezes the whole software manager. You have to go into your system monitor and intentionally kill it, and it's not. It's simply called Solus SC, and so you can't easily identify it in the running
So you were
software.
not finding solace in Solus.
I was not. I was not finding Solus in Solus. No.
There's something. That's one for me. No, but no. There's something about, see, GNOME 3 is the latest technology, right? So I guess it's progress. But to me, and I think I mentioned it last night in a video, but to me, progress is worthless if the result or the byproduct of that so-called progress is inefficiency, meaning you can't easily customize that Linux desktop. And Linux is all about making it your own. So that's why I don't like it now. I think it shows promise, but it's still a lot of work to do. And who knows if it would ever be something that, for beginners out of the box. That's why I like Ubuntu Mate. Yes, it's retro looking out of the box. It's not fancy, but it just works.
Yeah.
And there's something to be said for keeping your sanity.
Yes.
So,
And
you
that's
know,
actually why I like Budgie, because it has a lot of the elements of the modern system, but it has the old elements that we're used to. And that's why I liked Budgie so much. I mean, there were certainly a few things I would have changed, but for the most part, I really liked how that worked. But yeah, GNOME is just, it's, I mean, first it's like has more appearance of Mac than anything else, and I have no idea why, because like, I mean, I get if you've been on Mac your whole life, it can be easy to use, but I think it's a nightmare. I mean, and I have a Mac in my office, I have Windows computers in my office, I have Linux in my office, and I want the ability to customize things without fighting with it. But I think GNOME would be great for a touchscreen computer or a phone. That's kind of that.
maybe, yeah. Yeah, but back in 2011 when Ubuntu switched to Unity, that's another topic. Then at the same time, the new GNOME 3 came out. I had to choose one. It was clear to me that Unity was by far the more user-friendly. And here we are 6 years later. I know it's been officially been dropped. That's a shame. But I'm going to miss Unity. I know there's some forks out there, but as I always say with Linux, when you go to change things get forked up. So
Yep, indeed
that's
they
what I'm
do.
going to say. Yes,
And
yes.
Ubuntu Unity, Unity really grew on me as far as a desktop. It was my preferred for terminaling into things, SSH, those geeky Linuxy things. Unity was awesome for basic desktop usage. Not so much. But that's why I liked Unity, and maybe GNOME has that same feel. I don't know. But yeah, so
Yeah.
now I predicted, I gotta say this because really I started my channel, I actually started doing and recording videos summer of 16, I think. I never actually made anything live until October when I had like 20 videos. I made everything live and I plodded along like most new channels plod along, you know. And it was an Ubuntu video that just shot me right up into the public eye when I criticized Unity. And it was absolutely a hated video. Half the people, I think the like-dislike ratio was like 1-to-1 almost. And people were like, whatever. But I called it. I called it because I said Unity 8 is a bad idea, and before it even came out, they announced the end of Unity.
Well, it looks like this is all pre-planned or pre-cooked from Canonical, and they had to do what they had to do, but picking GNOME as a... I'm not sure that's the best choice, but we shall see.
I mean, I think they did it because that's what it, to my understanding, was what it was based on before they developed Unity. Of course, it was GNOME 2, which is closer to Mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see with the next one, the LTS that comes out for GNOME 3. But man, if you can't customize it, then what's the point? That's just my opinion.
If I wanted an operating system, I couldn't customize. I'd either run with the Mac or the Windows 10 because
I agree totally. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and have a look at some comments here. Let's see. 1804 is a quick Google search to download. I have not even looked at that. It hadn't even occurred to me to go and start looking at 1804 yet. I should probably go do that. I think it's not pulled from network servers. Let's see. JJ Games says, Merry Christmas or Happy Christmas, Tom, another person. Other person is TOS, Total OS Today. Go check out his channel. I'll have to try and link your channel down at the bottom. Sakis, how are you? 18.04 beta. Yeah, I don't know. Is Ubuntu 18.04 in beta yet, or is it still alpha? It should be alpha.
No,
still, right?
I believe the alphas will start next month.
Yeah, it's pre-alpha probably. This is the stability of Ubuntu 16, though. I was running Ubuntu 16 pre-alpha in production, not a problem, but I couldn't even get the second candidate beta working in 17. I don't know. Tony Simmons, Merry Christmas to all. All right, thank you, Tony. Last remote before Christmas. I don't know. I'm probably going to do some more live. I'm not sure. I've actually taken care of all my Christmas stuff. My Christmas stuff is done. I don't do Christmas, so,
I bought myself a Knuckle Dock 2 for my Christmas gift, and I like it. Yes, I know the privacy. It records area. I know, but you know what? Once you get on the web, there is no privacy, so forget about it. That's what's in New York. Forget about it.
We have some slight disagreements there, but that's okay. I don't mind.
Okay.
I'll tell you. You're giving Amazon all that. I'm figuring out ways to shop on Amazon completely anonymously. Did you know that's possible these days? It's awesome.
How? Okay, maybe that's for a
here's how.
Video,
here's how. My patrons already know this, but with Amazon, they were trying to solve, because of course Amazon's been involved in these funny feuds, not only with Google but also with Walmart, and it's really been funny to watch this feud. Well, Walmart has a couple things over Amazon, like locations everywhere, where you can order online and pick up stuff. So Amazon's been working on these pickup locations. So part of buying Whole Foods was to get into the food industry. Part of it was to have more locations everywhere, to have Amazon pickup lockers. So in my town, there are now 2 pickup stations in my zip code. So I can go in and order things, and then you can create an account, and all Amazon needs to create an account is a first name, an email address, and a password. Okay, so you use those, and then when it goes to shipping, you don't give them anything other than the pickup location. Okay. And the other thing they were trying to solve, and I think that this is an accidental fluke of trying to solve 2 problems and being too big of a company. They want to tap into the 19% of unbanked and underbanked Americans who don't have bank accounts or credit cards. And so now you can go to stores all over the country, like CVS is a big chain, Sheetz is more of a regional chain out here, but lots of them all over. You can drop cash for a refillable Amazon gift card. So now you use a refillable Amazon gift card, put that as your only payment option, place the order, ship it there, and you do that through a VPN. They don't even have your IP address.
But that's specifically for, like shopping through Amazon. I'm talking about the whole web in general. You can't forget about privacy in general.
Correct.
Not specific.
Yeah. when you're trying to be totally private on the web, you're right. And what I try and do personally is I minimize the amount of connections people have, mostly by blocking the advertisers, the bad players, essentially. So that's what I do, is I just block those guys.
Okay,
so,
yeah, I mean, whatever works. It's
Yep.
just that, the web is, I mean, since its infancy, it's just grown so much, and there are so many variables and, bots and malware, and, and who knows what, secret dark web, things are out there.
Correct.
But I don't like it. It's wrong, but that's the way it is. So, before I would say I used Linux for privacy, but once you get on the web, it doesn't matter. Windows, Linux, Mac, once you get on the web, be careful. Just be careful. So,
Yeah, and we always need to be careful, and that's the thing. I think there's steps you can take, but I mean,
yeah. Right.
And then the question is, who you're trying to hide from. I personally,
Yes.
I'm just trying to prevent the oversaturation of direct targeted marketing. That's what
Yeah.
my biggest thing is.
Yeah.
I mean, government, yeah, you're not getting away from them, not easily.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the things that I do, I did actually pulled a Facebook poll to see what Facebook thinks, and I think they only picked one or two things because I had so confused Facebook. I mean, they think I'm not only a female, but a basketball player and all this other stuff. And the funny thing, the reason why is several of my clients, I have more than one client who are, women's clothing activewear salespeople. And so I'm doing stuff for their sites. I'm just looking up women's clothing. It's not because I want to buy women's clothing, but that's what seems to get tracked back on the one computer because they have to have some Facebook connections as well. And so I got Facebook all messed up. I should just tell them I'm a sparkly unicorn. They'd believe it.
Or you have multiple girlfriends, but
There
no,
you go. There you go. I mean, I
buying
could be
clothes,
searching for
yes,
a wife too, but yeah, there was
there you
actually
go. See?
there was a tool from ProPublica where you can put your Facebook profile into it, and then it'll actually tell you what Facebook thinks about you. So
Interesting. See, here we go again. Privacy. Forget
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, unless you're
Well-
blocking Facebook on everything, because
Okay.
those are those big ones to block. If you block Google Analytics and you block Facebook, you have effectively taken a big chunk out of what people can do. Now, I block Facebook on most of my systems. I don't block Google Analytics because I need that data as a web developer for most of my clients, and so
Okay.
that's a challenge. But my Cubes computers, oh, you better believe those are blocked.
well, speaking of the web, net neutrality. Here we go.
Yeah. I didn't actually have
What
that
is
on my
going to
list.
happen? Okay, well, it's big news. It affects everybody, not just Linux users. What's going to happen? Probably in the short term, probably nothing. In the long term, appeals, lawsuits, public demonstrations, I would imagine. And
Well-
if we're lucky, maybe that law goes nowhere.
Yeah, I'm
Time
one of
will
those
tell.
geeks that actually reads my invoices and stuff, and if I can find the latest thing from Comcast, they're
Okay.
even announcing already. Oh yeah, our rates are going to go up in December or in
I
January.
thought I saw that. Yeah. I thought I
So
saw
yeah,
that,
I can't
yes,
find the
yeah.
bill right now, but yeah,
Okay.
and this is that funny thing about the T3.14. That's Asia Pi. He's a Terminator sent here from the future. He's designated model number T3.14. T3.14 did that absolutely trolling video that just showed the pure immaturity of that man and the industry. Where, the 7 things you can still do. Oh, look, we woke up in the morning. Well, what did you expect? The thing's not even ratified into law. So nothing's going to change for 60 days. Nothing can change.
What's his name that had Ajit Pai? Is
Agent
that his
Pi,
name?
yeah.
He made a public service amount,
That's-
like a PSA.
That's the video I'm
service
talking about.
announcement. Says, all right, and he says, well, to preserve our internet freedom, we already had internet freedom. There was nothing to fix. It wasn't broken. It's politics,
Yeah.
obviously.
It was very broken.
Yes. And what's going to happen from here? In the short term, probably nothing. In the long term, this new tax plan that they just signed, he signed. If you read it, oh boy, it's bad.
I did not get a chance
It's
to read it. I am.
yeah, it's yeah.
Tell me
it's-
some of the
yeah.
things that are most concerning to you.
Apparently, they're going to take away some deductions for the middle class and the poor. It always seems that way. They were saying that they wanted to pass this, and I read a synopsis, but they wanted to pass. It would have been best for them to pass it not this year, but next year, because of the midterm elections. And they said that the breaks that you get now will reverse itself, and there'll be more taxes taken out. Programs that are popular are being cut. The children's health insurance program called CHIP, which helps families, that'll be cut, from what I understand. It's
Now,
it's not fair.
have they successfully added the tax deduction for owning a private jet? They've added that, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they have,
did.
because that was a big problem. I mean, I had sleepless nights over that.
Yeah, I know. Now, what I was pleased to see, I mean, at least if there is potentially a silver lining on this cloud, at least they're not killing our future graduates by making them pay taxes on waived tuition. To my understanding, they cut that part
I
out.
believe they're going to tax graduate programs or eliminate some funding that's on there also. They mentioned MIT or something like that. Basically, it's not good for the masses. It's that
Yeah.
simple. The so-called Christmas gift for us and this and that, you may see a break immediately, but after that, I guess they expire.
Yes,
From what
they
I
all
read, and then your
expire.
rates will
Yep.
go up. And it adds another $1 trillion to the debt. I don't know how these people in Congress, with their profession, they don't know that 2 + 2 = 4 and not 5.
Well, it's
But they seem to have
it's because
flunked
of all of
math.
this Common Core education, they can't understand the math anymore.
Well, it's, one time during President Clinton's, he was during the convention, he said, well, Mr. President, how did you fix it? And he says, it's not rocket science. 2 + 2 = 4. That's how we had a
Yeah.
surplus under it. Now, you can
Yeah.
debate his politics and this and that. That's fair.
Yep.
But in terms of simple math, he understood.
Yeah.
And
Well,
he was good at getting
there
both
were-
parties to, both parties to agree.
Yeah.
But apparently that's a rare, rare
Yeah,
occurrence.
'cause Bill Clinton did two amazing things in office that seriously helped the country. The first is he actually is the only president in modern history to balance the budget, like you're saying.
I think so, yeah.
The other
I think, yeah.
thing you may or may not remember or be aware of, I am because I was a student under the latter part of his administration, and we did not pay, as students, full-time students, did not pay Social Security tax. That was
okay.
huge because it meant I finished college with a positive net worth. Well, I ran some numbers with, if you watched my show the other day, I ran some numbers with co-host the other day, the kid that I mentor, because he's getting to that age and, half of the school system and the other half of the world are trying to push him into college. And he's saying, I want to go if it's worth my time and if I'm not going to get into debt. He's really taking it a logical thing, saying, I don't want to go just because the society says I should go, but I don't want to not go because society says go. He's really taking an intelligent perspective about it. But the biggest problem is the debt. Well, we did the math that if he does not get subsidized loans and he has to take out loans for everything, he will finish education in a state school as a state resident. $98,000 is going to be his debt at the end of it after only 4 years. Well, the average student right now is taking 5 or 6 years because they focus the pleasure and the fun and the entertainment and everything else, not the education, which is why you're there.
I agree. I mean, look what's happening to this country. Look at that tragic train wreck this past Monday. And we're supposed to be a superpower.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure superpowers don't want inferior, trains, roads, infrastructure, the abundance of potholes in this country, like here in Ohio. I'm sick of it.
Oh, you
But
think
this
Ohio's
is not
bad?
as-
You travel through Pennsylvania.
I'm close to Pittsburgh. I get it. And this is the epitome of a superpower. Really, I hate to see our third world country,
Yeah.
but it's not getting better. That's how I see it. But yeah, we were the subject of the tax plan. It may be good immediately. You may see something, but in long term, you're gonna get hit. Meaning us.
Yeah.
It's It's that old saying, if it sounds too good to be true. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's and this is why I try and do a lot of things myself, which is certainly more overhead, but and you can't always get away from it either, with this tax
Yeah.
plan stuff. I mean, it's
Yeah.
here it comes, ready or not. Here she comes.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of
All right. So we were talking. Okay. So we talked about. So I'm just checking it off my list. Solus is fine. If you want to try for beginners, probably not yet.
yeah.
I guess the other big news was the Apple thing.
Oh boy, yeah.
Uh,
So I mean, I
the-
have an Apple phone here. I have an Apple SE.
Okay.
So the SE is
Okay.
on the hit list. So if you're unaware
Okay.
of this, of course, everyone was saying when. Do you want to jump into this? Or want me to take the lead on this one? I don't know.
Go for it. You have an Apple phone, and I do not.
Okay.
Yes.
So the issue is people have been saying, oh, every single time when these new iOS versions come out, my phone seems to get slower. Cause this Apple conspiracy theory. Where's my hat? Cause an Apple conspiracy theory that they're intentionally slowing down phones to get you to buy a new one. And then of course people are like, oh no, you just kind of want the new one and so whatever. Well, it turns out that yes, they were slowing it down. Of course, they only admitted it after some tech guys came by and actually demonstrated. So it's probably nefarious, but not nearly as nefarious as you may think it is, but it's still nefarious enough for me. And that is what they're basically trying to say is that as the phone ages, then what will happen is the battery will start to lose some of its charge. And if they keep on running the phone, because the reality is the iPhones push the batteries to the limit. And if the battery is not pure peak 100%, the phone will have problems. And what happens, particularly you take the phone out in the cold, it would reboot up. It shut itself down. And so they started introducing things into iOS. Is it 10.21? I think is the number. It was one specific version in iOS 10 that would actually intentionally slow the phone down. Now, if you replaced the battery, it would return to normal. But we had two major problems. Number one, why is this a required thing? And why did they not tell us until we kind of caught them? But the biggest deal, the number two part of the biggest deal is why make the phones that A, are too close to the power consumption of the battery, and B, you can't replace the battery? Because it's all the thing of
Yes.
wanting you to have a phone anyway. Now,
Battery technology. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, battery technology has not changed in 25 years.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Phone technology has. It's all Star Trek stuff.
Yeah.
But the batteries is like, really? From the old Energizer Bunny days? Come on.
Yeah, and the reality is, you could make these with swappable batteries. You can make them to not run as hardcore on the battery. Because I'll tell you what, mine has some other issues which I think have to do with something unrelated. I don't update the iOS version on this. I've locked it at 9. And I've actually blocked Apple's update servers, so no Apple products on my network will check for updates. Because I don't want to be annoyed by that. Because I'm happy how it is. I realize there's probably some security vulnerabilities, but I use my phone to make phone calls, send text messages, and use the internet when I'm not at home. And that's all I need it for. And so I'm not on apps all over the place. In fact, I have probably 4 apps installed on the thing, if that. So I don't really need to make sure I'm always on the latest of everything.
Right.
If I want to do something crazy, my Android phone is more up to date. So that's what I do.
If you want the latest, then buy the latest hardware to match the latest software, right?
Mm-hmm. But and
Maybe
the
that's
thing
the
is,
best foot
I'm
forward.
not
That means
spending
money.
$800 or $1,000 on a phone because that's crazy. That's
Who
crazy.
would have thought it?
Yeah.
$1,000 cell phone.
Yeah. Well, let's
It is
let's look at this and say, what about the Librem phone? Because now it looks like we're going to get a true Linux phone. January 19, I think is what they're going to do. Are you going to run out and buy one?
I hope.
Why or why not?
I hope. Am I going to get one? I'll have to wait and see. If it really comes out, does it work? Is it stable? Here we go again.
Yep.
It does what it claims to do. Sure, I would give it a try. Why not? But again, it's new. It's all new, so you have to wait, right?
I'm going to be a couple year holdout, and the reason is I don't buy new phones anymore. I'm going to wait until I can find one aftermarket. I have 2 smartphones. I paid a grand total of I think $430 for both of them. and one's an iPhone and one's a Nexus. So I know how to find deals, and I will hold out for a deal because I don't care if my phone is pure Linux as much as I care, does my phone have better reasonable privacy? And my Android phone, I have flashed it with Lineage OS. There's no connections to Google. I don't log into Google. The network runs through Tor, and I can add a custom host file to block everything I need to block on the phone. So in reality, my phone is doing great.
Well, I have an HTC Max, and this thing is 3-4 years old, and the reason why I still have it is because the two front-firing speakers, on the top and bottom, this is still the best sounding. It's 4 years old, I think. It's still the best sounding phone on the market. Shame on you manufacturers. Now, I'm stuck on Android 4.4. Not good probably, but that's what it is. But you know what? I've listened to the other phones. They're not that good. That's speaker-wise. I know they're faster and better camera.
I don't know how the Nexus says speaker-wise. I'll have to listen to some stuff.
The Nexus, I think, is a step up in terms of sound from what I remember. It's been a while. And I believe the Pixel, which replaces it, isn't bad either. But this one, in fact, I was showing this. I was at the doctor's office one night, and I was showing this to the secretary. I had her playing a video. She says, "Wow, what kind of phone is that? That sound?" I say, "Yeah, it's an HTC One Max." But I don't know if the newer ones. Well, they don't make the Max, but if the newer HTC still have the speakers, see right there how wide that is. I don't know if they still have it.
Nice.
But it's two of them, two speakers top and bottom, and you know what? It still works now. When it's gone to the point where it's sluggish, then it may be time to trade it in. But for now, it works.
The problem I have with my iPhone is it drops calls all the time. But I think it's a hardware issue. I mean, we tried swapping the SIM card out. That didn't seem to do anything. And so I think it's a hardware issue is what my thinking is. And this will be the last iPhone I buy. I mean, I might get one just for development testing, but I won't be putting another iPhone on a cellular service. But I'm a front end developer for websites, so I kind of have to have all the different hardwares out there. So
my next one will probably be one that at least this one has a sealed battery, which I don't like, but the battery still holds a charge. But probably my next one is something with a replaceable battery, just to keep it simple.
Yeah, I think
like an LG or something.
Yeah, if I'd have my ideal phone, it needs a replaceable battery, SD card expansion, the ability to replace the ROM, and I really like the Nexus has the ability that I don't have to root it to do system file changes because it has the Android Debug Bridge root only option. So I can turn the option on specifically, plug it into the phone or plug it into the computer. I can go in through terminal, make any adjustments to the system files, which I do on the host files, and then pull the thing off, go back into developer options, turn off the option for extra security, and then disable development mode. And that way I have a very good way to streamline the making sure the phone is good and servicely up to date without having to risk, your basic classic root stuff, which I think is dangerous for a phone if you're not careful.
I've rooted I have a couple tablets. You remember the Toshiba Thrive about 5 years ago? I still have that because it
I
has
had one of those.
Full-size HDMI out. I mean, it has all the ports that I need, and it works. Now it's only a dual core, a little slow, but it works. But that one I rooted. And my Samsung Tab 3, which is a dual core, I root with. Look, I figure if I root it and it gets bricked, well, it's older technology. I don't care. And those I bought used at a good price. Normally with phones, I'm leery about doing any kind of hacks for fear of making it a brick. Now I have a Samsung Galaxy 4 as a backup, which still works. But with phones, I don't mess with the hacking of the phones. I understand it's not that difficult. Same process maybe as the Galaxy tablets. But I have not rooted a phone.
Yeah. I actually rooted the very first Android I ever had. It was a Casio Commando. Rooted that thing. Oh, I loved it.
Cool. The Casio, that sounds like a movie.
That was
Casio Commander.
Awesome phone. That thing was like military grade rugged. My friend, I mentored a kid. I think he was like 12 or 13 at the time. A 13-year-old kid could not destroy that phone. He would go swimming with the thing, and it was completely waterproof. It was like you could throw it across the room, no problem. It was awesome. Well, we have a lot of comments coming in, so let's go ahead and have a look at a few comments here.
All right.
All right, let's see. In fact, Ubuntu Budgie has Ubuntu repos as a must. Okay, impressed with 17. So Sakis is impressed from the new 1710. Just don't put it on Lenovo. You will not be impressed. Random says, thanks to all. Have a happy. You have a happy as well. All right. Switch Linux and Toss Daily. For you, what's the worst Linux distro you've ever used? From Noah.
Boy, I gotta think. The worst. Deepin comes to mind. I had issues. There's probably more than that one, but that one, I could not get it to work right and downloading the updates and something about I missed the servers weren't updated or something. I don't know, but that was, I mean, it was one of those where it looked great, looked lots of eye candy, but I didn't like it at all. And I think there was one more, but off the top of my head, all I could think of is Deepin.
You know, I've never really cared for Fedora, honestly. Every time I've had a Fedora, updates just killed the whole thing. I'm like, I'm not messing with it anymore. That's why I don't really run Fedora stuff.
Okay.
So I'd say for me that was it. And particularly the default with the GNOME desktop, and then Fedora constantly breaking itself.
Yeah, GNOME may be my number 2, but that, you know, it's not so much that it was the worst. It's just the environment. It's like, again, it takes getting used to. You have to install, if you can get them to work, the GNOME extensions. But half of them don't work, they're broken, blah, 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 so I just stopped. But if you can get all your extensions to install and work, GNOME will work.
Yeah.
But it's the extra time, and it shouldn't be that way. It should just work pretty much like with Ubuntu Mate. It works out of the box.
Yeah, and you should have the ability to install things without using all of the extra extensions, because then you're piecemating a thing together, and that's always is a challenge.
Well, I received a message from one of the guys from Ubuntu, and he says that the reason why we don't recommend installing those extensions because it may break the system. That's not what I want to hear. I understand.
Particularly with Ubuntu, because it is directly marketed towards new users in many ways. Absolutely.
Yes. So, but Deepin was probably the one that sticks to it. It was disappointing. It looked really nice, but not anymore. I am done with Deepin. So,
Farron OS tells us the Solus Software Center is getting a new look in Solus 4. Solus Mate is the best one in my opinion, then GNOME, then Budgie. I don't know. I mean, I want to try out Solus Budgie, but I had a really bad experience with Solus GNOME. Most of it was Solus, though, so I don't know. Sudo Reboot joins us. Greetings, Sudo Reboot.
Hello.
Alright, Pizza Lovin' Nerd, Kubuntu runs Cinnamon, Mubuntu runs Mate, Ubuntu runs Unity, okay, yeah. Lots of those, Pizza. Tony Simmons, currently trying SwagArch. Which one's SwagArch? I haven't seen that one.
Not familiar with that one.
Does anyone know how to install Plasma on a VM? Yeah, I've never had a problem just grabbing ISO for like Neon or something.
Yeah, no, it seems to work, yeah. Plasma's come a long way. Yeah. More efficient, it seems. Yeah.
Yeah, is online. He says Ubuntu Unity will be an official Ubuntu flavor. That's cool. I would actually go and get that again, particularly for the servers you need to run AWS on. I hate Pizza Love Nerd hates Unity. All right. Both of us. Question for both of us from Noah. Today, what's your worst? Oh, okay. That's the same question. We've already answered that one. Yeah. I'm lagging behind on the comments here. I do like how they theme GNOME to look like Unity. Me and my friends call it New Unity.
There you go.
You can get GNOME extensions from software. Yeah, just don't try and install them on Ubuntu though, because I actually bricked the desktop environment. I ended up solving it by just creating a new user account and just thrashing the old one.
You know what I liked for the GNOME experience? Pop! OS. It felt faster.
Is it? Okay.
It just felt smoother.
Yeah, I didn't.
Maybe because it's just plain vanilla GNOME. I don't know. But it felt smoother, especially in the virtual. It felt smoother. So that's the one that I kind of like. I didn't try to install the extensions. I figure, what's the point? It ain't going to work anyway, you know. But that one felt faster. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I didn't try Pop! OS, and it's not really on my list of ones to try because it's Ubuntu GNOME. I mean,
Yeah, well, I want to try because System 76, they are a U.S. manufacturer of strictly Ubuntu machines, and they've
Hmm.
done pretty good. They've been in existence, I think, 11, 12 years.
Yep.
Since the beginning, they've done very well for them. Now, there's no stores like brick and mortar, but
Hmm.
they've done good for themselves, so they deserve all the, praise. Yeah,
Let's
so.
dive into that topic for a minute. That it's not on my list. I don't know if it's on yours, but I did a video not too long ago looking at what would it take to launch the year of the Linux desktop, and I think the biggest challenge is you cannot find Linux computers in a big box store. That I think is the absolute thing we gotta change.
Walmart tried it 6 years ago, something called Ghost, Gos, where you can walk into Walmart at some stores. So I downloaded the operating system. It was god awful. I'm thinking, great, here's our first impression of Linux in the store, and it's
From
junk. It's like I always
Walmart.
say, you never get a second chance to make a good first impression. And that was the end.
I thought
Now,
I
of course, a lot has changed, and
yeah.
but well, walk into Best Buy. They're
Yeah.
not there. All right, Chromebooks. Fair enough. But,
Yeah.
that's.
It's despite I mean
I
it's
mean,
Gentoo, but it's not really Linux in the sense that you can get in there and you can do all the things with Linux. You know.
Google has the resources to make an Android machine. Look at all the Android phones. Duh.
Yep.
So why don't they do it? There's a reason. That I believe you could order those on Amazon, but they're not mass marketed.
Yep.
And like, what's the holdup? Because they got the people, they got the money, they got the name, they got the phone. There's like a billion of these phones out there, right?
Yep.
Why not make a desktop where you can just plug in your phone, boom, everything syncs like your Apple product? That would make sense to have, quote, the year of the Linux desktop, but they haven't done it. There's nothing on the horizon. There's
Yeah.
a reason for it. I don't know.
Yeah. And
But I can see that, like,
yep. And even still, it's not a true Linux in the sense that you have the same flexibility that we have here.
true,
I can boot up a
true.
terminal as root and do
Right.
whatever I need to do. And
That's true, but chances are it would work out of the box. There would
correct.
be no
And
customizing or extensions to break
And
it.
what
It would
would
just work.
happen if that were to occur? Gaming would get to Linux, and that is the biggest holdout, I think.
Because now that opens up a whole new market of paying customers.
Correct.
So,
And that I think
but they
would be
haven't
the
done
best
it.
thing.
I don't know why.
Now, I thought
Yeah,
I
no,
walked
so
into a local Best Buy and saw one computer with Ubuntu, but I think it was a fluke. It was a Dell, which of course you can order a Dell with Ubuntu.
yes, yes,
Which is good.
yes.
I like that option.
And that's great. But again, it's not where a mom and pop or a family walks into a store.
Yep.
They see a Windows machine that's say $3.99 on sale, whatever, and you can't compare it to, we'll call it ABC Linux for the sake of argument, to say, oh, well, this is what this does. It's $50 less, and this is what this does. But you can sync your Android phone right up to it. That's a selling point,
Yep.
but it does not
Yeah.
exist, at least not yet.
And I guess that's an advantage of running KDE is you can get the KDE app and sync a lot of things. It doesn't work as well as it could, I
Yeah.
think. But at least
Yeah.
you can do quicker file sharing back and forth and
Yes.
things like that. so.
Right. So that's my thought of the year, the Linux desktop. It's been announced the
Yeah.
last 7 years. It's
Yeah.
coming. It's here. It's almost here, and
Yeah.
that's the price of diversity, I guess.
Yeah, and there's a lot of options. Maybe there's too many options. That's one issue, but
Which one? Say it's not Google. Okay, great. Do we pick Ubuntu? Do we pick Ubuntu Mate, Linux Mint? And who's going to decide this?
yeah.
How many fights are going to come? How many discussions?
Yeah, as much as it
why
would,
was-
as much as it would cause a huge fight, I think Linux Mint is the best contender because it works well and has a familiar interface.
And you just have to pick the one so that people can work on it. No bugs out of the box. You can't have 3 or 4 choices. It'll just confuse the people.
Yep.
Mom and pop, wait a minute, there's 4 Linux Y. When the which one? You need to pick the one. But then again, who is going to pick? I won't. I don't want the hate mail. So.
Absolutely. All right.
Well, we spoke about privacy. So what happened with Firefox and that sneaky little plugin? Did you hear about that? The iRobot? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I responded by installing WaterFox across pretty much everything that I
Okay.
have.
Well, I checked. I don't have it on mine, but that was kind of sneaky.
Yeah,
I guess it's part of a game.
I think, and I don't know what the ad was for. I'm thinking that it probably auto-installed if you either allowed, probably if you allowed extensions to update themselves automatically, which I always turn off. So
Okay.
I didn't detect that on any of my systems. But you know what? Between that, between their data collection thing in Germany, between just a lot of crazy, unscrupulous things, I just kind of decided, you know what? I just installed WaterFox on several of my
Okay.
distros. That's what I chose
I've
to
tested
do so far.
WaterFox. It's okay. It's okay, but I like Firefox Quantum. It's a lot smoother.
Well, you know,
so I
the thing that actually got me to put WaterFox on my Windows development computer is because I needed to have two extensions that are not functional in Quantum, and I had to have them. And
oh
I was like, you know what? Firefox is doing creepy things. I tried to update to the latest Firefox right before Quantum. Even that broke one of the two critical extensions. But on WaterFox, I could go back one version less, version 55, the core based on version 55. Everything
Okay.
works exactly as I need it, so my development computer is exactly where it needs to be. I just can't upgrade it any more than that because they keep on breaking the
Well-
extensions.
I used to be a distro hopper, not anymore. And I started Linux in '06 and experimented. After like 3-4 years, I'm done. It's just, but now I'm a web browser hopper. I like Brave browser. I kind of like it's kind of fast. You mentioned WaterFox, Pale Moon, Vivaldi. I mean, Opera. The list goes on and on. Opera's got that built-in VPN. I'm not sure how effective that is, but it's there and it's nice. So, you know. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind testing different browsers because I'm not physically installing anything and spending the time, you know. But Quantum, it's faster. It's especially Linux. It's a lot faster than before, a lot smoother. So they fixed it now. That sneaky thing with the plugin, don't do that, okay?
Yep.
But it works. I mean, the whole web browser, the new one, the Quantum does work. So,
Yeah.
you know.
So, yeah, it's odd. It's odd for me, and I'm trying to decide what is the best option because it's not. If it was just a matter of doing one thing like that, but I mean, they've done 3 or 4 things like that this year,
Okay.
and it was just
Okay.
like at this point in time,
Yeah.
it's like we need to take a step
Yeah.
back and realize who we're working with
There's
a little bit.
There's
but-
a trust factor.
and that's what it
um,
is. It's a trust factor.
I don't like it either, but
Yeah.
I keep it because it works. So don't do it again.
Yep,
you know.
and I haven't taken it off of my media PCs. The biggest holdout to WaterFox is it's not in the repos. I got to download it and manually install
Oh
it.
yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah.
Opera does funky things with URLs. Like if you go to load up Opera and go to Amazon, for example, did you know they auto append their Amazon affiliate code on there? So if you shop on Amazon on the Opera browser, you are supporting them whether you want to or not. That means if somebody's on Opera and they're using your affiliate links or my affiliate links, it's using their affiliate links instead.
Oh.
And
Okay.
yeah, look into that on Opera. That's an interesting thing. Yeah, but if you look at the URL, go and look at the URL on Amazon. Who goes in and looks at the URL? If you look
Yeah,
at it,
yeah.
you will see Opera's Amazon affiliate code in there. So they're doing creepy
See,
things too.
See, it never ends. I mean, just when
Yeah.
you think you understand it, it's something else. So
Yeah. So
it's.
yeah. But
I
the
was,
cool thing on WaterFox, though, you can install it on Android. You can download the APK from
Nice.
WaterFox. So I'm actually running
Nice.
that on my Android phone now too.
Somebody said try Firefox Focus on Android. Is that?
I have not
you
tried it. The
Okay.
reason I have not tried it is you can't get a copy of it without going through the Play Store, and I don't attach any Google services
Oh.
to my Android.
Got
So,
it. Okay.
in fact, even to get Firefox on there, I had to download the Firefox updater from F-Droid and then allow that to install Firefox.
Okay, so you use
Yep.
okay.
But
All right,
with
gotcha.
WaterFox, I can download it directly from WaterFox's website, check the SHA,
Okay.
and then, install it manually. So
Okay.
So that's really
Okay, fair enough. Okay. Let's see. I have just a couple more things on my list. Do we have any X Files fans? I don't know if you watch X Files. I used to
Yeah.
watch it when I was.
I,
Okay.
I
Well, they're
think I
coming
watched
back
season
next
1.
week. Okay. Well, they're coming back January 3rd. I've seen the previews. It looks terrific, by the way. Of course, they're focusing on the alien conspiracy thing as well. They should. But the show came out, it's hard to believe, 93, 94. It lasted about 9, 10 seasons. It came back last year for like 6 episodes. Half of them were good, half of them eh. but they had a perfect cliffhanger. I won't give it away if you haven't seen it, but it's one of the best cliffhangers I've seen in TV or film history, in my opinion. And it was like, no, you didn't do that. So we are a year later. They filmed all 10 episodes starting January 3rd. If you like good TV, it doesn't have cats. Check out the new X-Files.
Well, this is the noisy one.
I think that cat's an alien, by the way. No, I'm just kidding.
The other one's the alien.
Hi, kitty.
This one, I think
kitty.
I think this one's a normal kitty, but the other
Okay.
one for sure is an alien. I don't know. Want to say hi
Yeah.
to peoples? Say hi. Say hi right now, microphone. Say hi.
The kitty says, "Where's my food?"
Say hi.
Kitty wants food.
Probably. All right. Go on, kitty. All right. So
Let's see.
let's see.
the
NK.
last-
Yep. I was
Yeah.
gonna say
Yeah,
NK
go
was
ahead.
the best
Yeah.
streaming hours. This is the best streaming hours for the Europeans. That's why I try and do some earlier ones when I can.
Yeah, because they're like 5-6 hours ahead. It's
Yeah.
not, it's not
Mike
too bad.
Washburn asked, any Firefox predictions for 2018?
Yeah. Firefox predictions?
Yeah.
Not off the top of my head, no.
My prediction, I don't know. If the Linux community backs away from them enough, they might be in trouble.
Well,
But I don't know if that's going to happen or not. The thing with Firefox is, though, is that Chrome is still the #1 downloaded browser. And
Yes.
the #1 used browser. And so
Yes.
the people that are hanging on to Firefox are probably hanging on for privacy. And so if they keep on doing this anti-privacy type stuff,
Yes.
they're going to
Right.
lose their competitive edge.
right.
So
I mean, it's one thing if you install it and it tells you up front, would you like to try this plugin or something?
Yep.
Just disclose it.
Yep.
Now, if you didn't read it or didn't pay attention, you install it, that's your problem.
Yep. I agree
But
with
they
that.
did it like
Absolutely.
so sneaky. And, companies, stop being sneaky.
Yep.
The only sneaky I like is Sneaky Linux, and that's it. Okay? But
I haven't seen Sneaky.
anyway.
Amazon filed
They
for
still are.
Amazon Tube. So what do we think? Is Amazon Tube a viable competitor? I mean, Amazon could definitely hold the water where, Vimeo couldn't, for sure.
Yeah, it's possible. That might be something going on for 2018. I don't know. Right now, there is no true, in my opinion. Vimeo I like. I've uploaded password protected stuff on there, for family and stuff. But Amazon Tube, why not?
Well, here is
Time will tell.
where I think they have a problem, and here's where Google has that trifecta of I'll call it perfection, although it's far from
Yeah.
perfect and very annoying. Not only do they have the money to invest in the infrastructure and to the innovation, they also have the server space, which
Yeah.
is hard to do. Which AWS can probably compete on those two. Where Amazon's going to fail is the ads. Google still has the largest ad network and can get us the best rates for putting ads on our videos. Now, Facebook
Yeah.
is the second biggest, so they could be a good contender for the ads. I don't think they have the money for the infrastructure. So all of those things Google has. So that's kind of the thing. So yeah, Amazon Tube potential, but they're going to have the same problem, especially with Amazon being in a feud with Google. Is Google really going to give them the good enough rates to make it worthwhile for the producer?
Everything is negotiable, in my opinion. The point is, the secret is how do you get that balance, that midpoint where it's fair for this party and fair for this party. I don't know. Time will tell. But why not Amazon Tube? Like
Yeah.
I said, VidMe's gone.
Yep.
That came out about 3 years ago. Look, there is no true viable yet alternative for for YouTube. It just I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Have you?
And I think we'll dive into a little bit more on that on, I think, the last topic on my list. We'll wait until we get to some of the comments on that. So
Okay.
Mike
Okay.
Washburn uses, for privacy, he uses and boots a separate USB drive specifically for banking and credit card things. That's exactly what I do. However, I would like to get all that data and put it onto my Cubes install, because it's a little bit better on Cubes because I can isolate all that without being a completely separate OS. But yeah. Asia
Okay.
Pi, yeah, okay. I'm not going to read the rest of that comment. Okay. Stream went somewhere weird. Yes, it did, Mark. What is this show all about? Year-end in Linux. That's what this show is all about. Get research and competitors offering up straight point. Let's see. ISP charge more and get bigger tax cuts. Yeah. Yeah, that's going back to, I think, what we were talking about earlier. What's your favorite desktop environment besides Cinnamon? That's directed at me specifically, but what's your take? What's your favorite desktop environment outside of Mate?
The new Cinnamon I've downloaded, Linux Smith, it seems more polished. So I kind of like that. Mate is my favorite so far. Cinnamon's good. XFCE, see, I tend to gravitate toward the simple ones that work out of the box. You know, I don't need to download extensions to make it mine. The latest Plasma seems fine. Seems a lot more polished. But my second choice from Mate, probably Cinnamon, or maybe Linux Mint Mate. I mean, they're very, very close, but probably Cinnamon right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say my second behind Cinnamon is KDE, certainly. I like the flexibility, the customizability. Of course, it's kind of a bear to get in there and do all those changes because there's so many options. But I just love what KDE can do. It's just not. I don't like it for a work environment, but I love it for a media environment.
Okay.
All right. Switch to Linux, the worst distro you've tried. I think we've already answered that, didn't we? Worst distro. Yep. I think that's just a repeat question.
Yeah.
So I think we got to that. Let's see. If you see a site with design that's getting a lot of hits, you may want to mimic it, maybe with minor tweaks, because it's obviously working. Give more information about Snap and the Flatpak to the community. Yeah, I don't know as much about either of them, really, as I probably should.
I just downloaded some last night, a Snap package. What was it? Spotify. It works. I don't know if that's the future for apps. I guess the nice thing about these apps is it's all self-contained. All dependencies, everything is there. You know, there's nothing extra to install to make that specific app work. But so far, I think Snaps have a future. I think Flatpak's the same way. But yeah, I think Snaps, if they work, why not?
Yeah, and I think that's what caused Solus to really become really useful, is their integration into Snap out of the box. Because it gave them access to a ton of apps that weren't otherwise available, because downside of it being such a new Linux distro is they just didn't have all of the things in place.
Right. Yeah.
All right, I need to overpay to your social security account. Let's see. I'm just gonna enjoy your slowdown iDevices, Apple fanboys. Well, they haven't touched my Apple phone yet because I can't get the update.
I should check my iPad Mini, see if it runs any slower.
Yeah,
I seldom use it though. I mean, it works, but I
yeah,
seldom use it.
and I don't mind as much on the iPad. I mean, I'll use the iPad for looking up some recipe. I might watch a video or two if co-host is over and we don't want to go to the computer, or I use it. It's one of the two devices I use to remote control my media center.
Okay.
So I do that on the iPad.
Sometimes I'll take it in the garage and stream music, or in the summertime I'll take it outside and catch up. I mean, it's reliable. I'll give Apple credit; they make a reliable device, at least in the but at least in the
oh man, we have
iPad Mini. But
so many comments. We are not even going to get close to these. Well, because
maybe we should finish up and try to catch up on the comments. Yeah,
finish up then comments. Yeah, because I saw English Bob jumped on. I saw Political Monkey jumped on. I saw Chip jump on. There's probably a few more folks I didn't see. Oh, Spider Eyes jumped on. Let's go ahead and wrap up our last couple topics here, and then we'll go through and do the comments until our user base drops off. We got we have 75 concurrently on the stream right now, and
that's cool.
Peaked at, looks like we peaked at 80. So. All right, so last topic. You want to go ahead and start up the last topic?
The last topic on my list. Let me go real quick. We mentioned. Okay, what about? Okay, well let's talk about Patreon. A couple weeks ago, they were going to improve, for lack of a better term, and immediately, look, I was born in New York, and when something's not, right? I try to be nice and diplomatic, but let's just say that I was so irked about their improvement, I deleted my account. It was an impulse thing. Probably should not have done, because a week later, I got an email. We listened. We're sorry. So I know what happened. They didn't do anything till they saw, Toss deleted his account. Don't take him off. No, but of They realized they made a mistake and they're not going to implement. That was supposed to take effect this past week, I think, right?
Yeah,
But they
18th,
said
I
we
believe.
listened
Yep.
to you. Now, my guess is talk is cheap, but I probably wasn't the only one who deleted their account. There was probably a certain percentage. They
There,
saw me on there.
yep,
And they said, you know what? This is not good because you can talk all you want, but unless you hit them where it hurts.
correct.
So will I go back to Patreon? Not the bad part is they said once you delete this, you can't go back and undelete it. So I'll have to do something else. But they admitted their mistake. They should have never said that in the first. It was just it was
Yeah.
wrong. You know, ask the
Yep.
community first, and then do something like that.
And
So
they
what it was,
said, they asked. I don't know who they asked.
I don't know. Basically, what they were going to do, if you pledged $1 to ABC person, you were charged $1. Now, the person didn't get that, the content creator didn't get the whole dollar. There were fees and all that. Okay, that's fine. But your credit card shows $1. They were going to change it where you pledge $1. It was going to be $1.38, but you only pledge. Not that you don't want the person to be supported, but that's not the point. If I pledge $1 or $5, whoever, that's what I should be charged. They were being, here we go, sneaky again about it. So that's what irked me, and I deleted it. It was an impulse, probably should not have done it. But that was a big one because a lot of creators use something like Patreon. I use PayPal now. To me, it's just a lot more simple. So Tom, I know you're still on Patreon. Great. But on me, if you want to support my channel, just use PayPal for now. It's worked in the past. Still works. I know some of you use PayPal. Thank you. But that was dumb. That was a major boo-boo, in my opinion. So
Yeah, yeah, and despite they reverse their opinion, I don't trust them, and so
I hear it's a matter of trust.
and that's why. And hey, web developer here, I'm working on something. Which, if I had time to actually go on and actually unlock it, I'd reveal the link here, but I'm not going to because it's locked. It's locked out behind password stuff. But basically, I'm developing one site because I have the 3 channels. Obviously, Switch to Linux here is my flagship. I have 2 other channels that I upload content to. Well, maybe one other channel I upload content to. The other one's like a fanciful dream. But my goal is going to be to start up a specific schedule, and I might even think about cutting back one day on Switch to Linux to make sure the other channel gets at least one a week. I just don't know yet, but I'm developing one site where people can go to follow me on all of the channels. You go to the home page without logging in. It'll show you the latest video in each of those sites, subscribe links, links to the channels, and then also an internal link that'll take you to a page with more information about that, where you can purchase member access. And the good news about that is I can say it costs you $1. I'm actually going to see a whole lot more because PayPal's cut's only 3.2%. So I'm going to see a whole lot more benefit to me. The people are only going to pay that whatever they want to pay, and then I'm still working on what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do like a private behind the scenes. I'm thinking about one thing I could do without really taking any extra time is just upload a private vlog, like a weekly vlog, what's going on once a week that would be all encompassing of all of the channels, things like that. So basically I'm working on that structure because I asked myself this question. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, Patreon before they switch and then switch back, I mean, it's still viable. It's certainly an option.
Yep.
And it's not that bad.
Yep.
For what I've seen. In fact, they started in 2013, 2014. And I had it, but then I thought it was like one of those scam things that wasn't legit, so I deleted it. But then I was told, no, this thing actually works, it's fair. So I went back to Patreon. So last year, I think, I can't remember, but I thought, okay, well, if you guys tell me it's legit, then why not? But I think Patreon is still viable. There are alternatives to Patreon.
Yep.
I was looking at something called DonorBox that might work. And LibrePay is another one that might work. But of all that I've seen, the simplest one to me is simply PayPal. Now, PayPal, you can't really post rewards per se, but you can make a donation or, contribute and say, hey, here's so much amount of money. Could you please do a video on something? Take a request as a reward. I know one of the requests I've had in the past doing the live shows at different time zones. So I try to do that. Now Sundays at 1. I probably won't do one tomorrow since Christmas Eve. I've done one 1 o'clock in the morning, where people know the countries and they seem to like it. That's the only quote downside of PayPal, but it's not really a downside because if you donate, you can say, "Hey, this is for me. Great job. Could you please do a show at 3 a.m. in the morning or something? You know, some ridiculous thing." But if it's what they want, and if I can do it, why not?
Absolutely.
That's a reward. So you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, and I like the idea, and I have that hooked on my site as well. You can actually just go right to all my channels, have the PayPal link directly right in there, which is cool. Of course, there's Super Chat, and speaking of which, so Mark Gates, $5 Super Chat. Thank you very much, man. He says, keep up the great work.
Yeah, there's
great
another
discussion.
option that works. Yeah,
Yep.
that's simple.
And
you pledge
we
$1. I think
see-
you get 55%.
I think you get a little bit
fine.
more. I think out of the...
Do you?
I-
Okay.
I want to say it was like $3.70 is what I'll get, so I think it's like 70% of what I get. I forget
Okay.
what
But
the number is.
But the point is, you
Yep.
pledge $1. It's or $5.
Correct.
It's $5. It's
Exactly.
not $5.85.
And I, as a content creator, I am okay paying those fees, and I should be. That should be my
Right.
impetus, not
Right.
the person's
Right.
impetus.
Right.
So now I was going to go back, and there's two aspects to figure out which one of these you want to do. The thing about Patreon is it's also a social site. In fact,
Yes.
I use it oftentimes for that. Like, I can
Yes.
use public posts on Patreon to let people know
Yeah.
without being patrons what I'm doing. And in fact, I put this show on that as well. I don't know if anybody saw it.
Sure. Yeah.
But
yeah.
here's the question I had to ask myself. Do more people support me because they found me on Patreon, or do more people support me because they found me on YouTube? And I would
Well, I
wager...
gotta tell-
what do you think?
For me, it was YouTube because I started YouTube in 2010. Patreon didn't exist.
Yep.
So now, for me from now, or for you, for people now moving forward, that may be different. Back then, I started this as a hobby. I wanted to learn more about Linux, but I was complaining because there wasn't a lot of good Linux channels back. Now there's a lot of them. But back then there was no destination Linux. There wasn't yours. There just wasn't there.
Yeah.
So I said to myself, don't complain, just do it. Take the bumps. I had a stack of, CDs, bootable disc, CDs back then. You know what I mean? But I learned on my own for the most part and some tips from the community. And I figure I'll do this for a year or two. Then, that's all I need to learn. But then the community grew, the channel grew. 100 subscribers, 1,000, 5,000. Oh, wow. So I kept doing it, and that took about 3 years, to be honest, but the channel became self-sustaining through the AdWords. I thought, okay, well, if the channel pays for itself, I started buying new equipment here and there. Okay, you guys want me to do it, and it's not costing me extra, because, again, it was a hobby before. I figured I would learn, 1, 2, 3 years, and then drop out or do something different. But then it started to change last year with the AdSense revenue drop and now the apocalypse, and the channel has been losing money all year. I'm still here because the community wants me here, but I'm not happy. I'm only blaming myself. I saw this coming, you know. But it's not as fun because I do need to like right now I have like a 19-inch monitor. It's okay. Obviously having a bigger monitor would help. But you talk about Patreon, sure. Maybe nowadays, maybe people will find you through that platform versus just YouTube. But you know what? There's so many there. There's Twitter. There's what's the one destination? Telegram.
Yep.
That they use. Mastodon is some kind of a Twitter app.
Yep.
That's something new.
I know Linduke uses that one a lot.
There are a lot more choices now. But back in 2010, for me, is strictly YouTube.
Yep.
And through emails. So yeah.
Well, my take personally is that, I mean, if you get on Patreon and you don't know anything, like, you're going to find the DeFrancos because they're huge, but who's going to find Switch to Linux with, as of today? I'm actually back up to 6 patrons. I lost 3. I was at 8. I lost 3 when that whole thing happened. I'm back up to 6 patrons now.
Yeah.
Chances are no one's going to be looking for stuff, finding me, and deciding to join me on Patreon without seeing what I'm doing. But you have a lot better shot of finding me on YouTube rather than finding me here. So that's that question I had. Is it worth maintaining the social aspect for the payment portal or not? And for me, I'm not sure it's as viable. And so I'm okay with spending some of my time and developing my own site. And that's the direction. DeFranco's doing that. Eli the Computer Guys essentially left YouTube to do that. You do
Well, he
that
has
kind of thing.
sponsorships now with different companies, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Eli dropped all his sponsorships. DeFranco has kept his. Yeah, Eli stopped doing sponsorships like 3 or 4 months ago.
Okay.
I think he kind of dropped a nuke on his whole channel, though, too. I don't know. But at the same time, for me, I had to ask that question. Because for me, web design, which is what I do, I'm going to keep doing that as long as I can, but it's not a long-term career goal. Content creation, however, could very well be. And it's not just doing videos here, but I also write books. And I also, I do a lot of different things. And so having one centralized hub where if you find me on any one of these channels, you can feed into the hub and say, oh, this guy, you can buy coffee mugs, you can buy books, whatever else. And all of it just goes to help support everything. So, I love to get better camera equipment, things. But like you, I can't just dump money into it. It's got to be the channel's got to be paying for it.
Yeah, because, it's one of those things. I've been doing this almost 8 years. I mean, as far as Linux, the history now and where it's going, I'm pretty comfortable. It wasn't like, 11 years ago, what's Ubuntu? I mean, for me, a lot has changed. So I don't really need the channel for myself in terms of knowledge.
Yep.
But, doing the live shows, meeting people ask me questions. Hey, should I install this? How do I fix this? I mean, I help out as much as I can. But it would be nice to get a nicer, larger monitor, a faster computer. So these computers, I have 2 computers that are super reliable, but they're not high end. So the rendering times, I wish it would be shortened. So a nicer computer would help just to make it easier for me, But hey, I'm still here. We're still here. For how long? I think content consumers, I don't think they want good content to go away. Because there's a lot of crap out there. And I think that's what YouTube is trying to do, to whittle out the non-user-friendly content. Years ago, I was watching content that's bogus. That's not right. That's not human, per se. But they were getting away with it. But now YouTube is starting to use and enforce their own guidelines. They were always there. So I'm defending YouTube on that. The problem is they try to fix it in one fell swoop, and you can't. But they panicked because the advertisers were pulling out. They were going to lose $1 billion. This from what I read.
Yep.
That's a lot.
Well,
so they're trying to fix it, and it's a tough call. But they are enforcing their own guidelines. If you don't like it, leave.
Yeah, and I think that's
but the guidelines
good.
To me are correct.
Always, they should have always been enforcing those guidelines. And I think
From
the challenge,
there would be no misunderstanding. Right.
Yeah,
right.
The challenge I think happened when they became too over whatever, and it got to the point where every single video I upload was instantly demonetized.
They panicked.
And that in and of itself causes too much problem among everyone else, and so that was a challenge to
it's not the community's fault.
Yeah.
They're still watching. I guess you could blame YouTube to a point, but again, they try to fix it with the hammer down. And instead of using like a little scissor to cut here, tweak there, they use that. I think they acknowledged it, but a lot of channels are hurting. There was one channel, almost 1 million subscribers, and he had to ask for Patreon, or he had to quit. I was floored, and that channel to me was fine. Somewhat controversial stuff like UFOs, but it wasn't like I was offended. But he had to ask for help, and that's when I thought, wow, this is bad.
Yeah. And it
is what it is.
And if we keep doing what we're doing, so some people are like, and I get this all the time. I don't know if you get these comments as well. Go to BitChute or VidMe or whatever else when that was still around. Yeah. It's like there's a very good reason I don't, and the reason I don't is because still, despite being demonetized, ad revenue is still the #1 means of supporting the channel. Yeah. And if I'm putting up my videos in 7 different places, it's going to thin it out even more and hurt the channel down the road.
There's these YouTube sponsorship, these big companies that you can join, multi-channel networks or whatever they're called. As my channel grew, I lost count at the invitations I received. Now these were reputable companies, great, but they take a cut because they promote your channel and this and that. I think that's fine, but I'm like, well, I didn't have that cut to give, especially
Yeah.
now. If you got like a couple 100,000 subscribers or 1 million, you need help. Great, join one, but they're going to take their fair share.
Well, you know, as
That's
I
fair,
I
you know.
investigated some of those because they contact me a lot, and I've investigated some of them, and the reality is they don't do anything else. It's literally like self-publishing a book, okay? And I've self-published 2 books. That is all these things are. We're going to give you all these tools. I don't even have the time to use the tools I have.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they don't
Yeah.
help you promote it at all. They're just giving you tools in exchange for their cut.
Okay.
And so I asked him, I said, what real value do you do? Are you going to actively work to build my numbers? Their answer
okay.
is no, they don't. All they
Okay.
do is take
All
a
right,
cut
well-
and give you tools, which we
Well, I
already
never
got.
joined, so maybe the advice for this is the same thing as we give advice for people coming to Linux. Keep it simple. So,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah, I mean, there could be a place like if you have 1 million subscribers, and you tell them, I'll join you if you put an intern on my channel. Absolutely. But a guy with 5,000 views like I have, or 8,000 like you have, subs, yeah, they're not beneficial. It's like my friend going to the bank. I'm trying to save up money for a trip, and the banker is sitting there telling him, oh, this is a good thing to do. Put this money in a money market account. Well, the banker knew the kid was going to lose money, but the banker got a commission. That's why he wanted him to do it. And that's exactly where they
There
work.
you go.
And specifically, I was working with BBTV. I don't know, whatever. I think that was one of the big ones there. So, and I just read too many horror stories about what they're doing. I'm like, you know what? No, I'm just going to keep independent.
Yeah.
Because, I'm a developer. I have the ability to develop my own portal channel, and that's it. So here's what I'm going to do. My plan is to get that thing going, and then I'm going to run that concurrent with Patreon for 6 months. And I'm going to evaluate, is the Patreon account worth keeping? Anybody that is on Patreon, I'm going to give free access to that site. Obviously, I can't go the other way because I don't have access to Patreon's back end. But I'm planning to have the same content on each site. So that's kind of
Well, there you go.
what I'm thinking
Yeah.
of.
But we'll see what happens next year with YouTube and the changes that they do, and and then we'll see any exciting new stuff from Linux for next year.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
know.
See
Yeah.
what's going to go on. I'll see if I can get another groundbreaking video. Shoot me up another one right on New Year's Eve.
There you go. There you go.
All right, should we wrap up on some comments? Anything else you have?
Yeah, I think let's catch up on the comments and wrap this up. Sure.
All right, sounds good. Let's see. Hope there's going to be Flashbowl, Pure OS ROMs, or packages for call message apps because I might sneak Farron OS on Librem if it were possible. There you go. I'm just going to flip through some of these comments here and just see what are the major ones. The Razer phone has amazing speakers. Just look at the reviews. So I don't know anything about the Razer phone. What about you?
I saw a commercial.
Yeah.
It looked cool on the commercial. Great if it has good speakers. Awesome.
Yeah, we need more of those. And I don't use my phone. Like, anytime I'm using my phone to do music, it's this amazing little thing. At the bottom of my phone, I have this thing called a headphone jack. It's quite amazing. But I plug it into speakers is what I do.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah.
But
Sure.
yeah, but there's times I'll do it, like I'll watch a video or something. So I'd say that the front-facing speakers isn't my number one thing, but it would be nice actually.
It's handy. It is just handy to have. So, instead of plugging in like a Bluetooth or the headphone, it's right here.
Yep.
And it's loud enough to play like in a restaurant or whatever in the car. You can actually hear the speakers.
Yeah.
And
Usually what
it's
you got to
not-
do on the iPhone is hold it with a cup. I don't know if I can get that on view
here
or
we go.
not. So that way it pushes it up, but it'd be way better to have them front-facing. I agree with that. Yeah. So it's
Keeping it simple.
yep. But I would like that option for the restaurants particularly.
Look, I have a speaking of, I have a flip cam. You remember these flip cams?
No. Oh,
see the
wow,
USB?
yeah.
Yeah. let me
Is
go
that
close.
illegal? I mean,
Plug it into the and it's
That's
full
cool.
1080p.
nice.
One red button, start, stop. That's it. There's no like image setting. You just. I bought these were originally like $250. I bought a refurb for like
Nice.
60 or 70. I bought two of them. One for one for my cousin who was going to Italy. Just record, stop, and that's it. And just plug it into the, computer. Download. It's awesome. Again, simple. Anyway,
Yeah.
and this even works a rechargeable battery or 4 AAAs as a backup.
Nice.
Imagine
good.
that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Let's see. Political.
this is what I use in the car for those vlogs. I use it in the car.
Oh,
so,
okay,
anyway.
cool. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
I got a sports camera to try that out, but it's just the quality wasn't like the video quality's fine. That's what it's for, but the audio
Yeah.
quality's just too bad to use. And
Yeah.
so, yeah. Well, Political
Yeah,
Monkey says,
see,
"Have a Merry Christmas."
Yeah.
Merry
cool.
Christmas to you as well, Political Monkey. Let's see. Merry Christmas, guys. Chip says, "I'm late." Yeah, we're not nearly as late as getting down to the bottom of these comments, though. The best distro is Hannah Montana Linux. I would agree.
Jeez.
I would agree.
I'm waiting for
absolutely.
Tony Montana, man. Tony.
Yeah, yeah. Who's the most recent child throb, teen heartbleed guy? We should do a Linux distro for him. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't know. Mark says Ubuntu is broken. Yes, it is. All right.
They're in a state of transition. That's what it is.
State of transition. Okay. Linux is turning into too many cooks in the kitchen situation. I don't know. I think I agree with that. Fat Elvis is on. Greetings, Fat Elvis. What do you think? Too many cooks in the kitchen? Too many distros?
Probably. If you go to DistroWatch, there's 100 officially, but then I think I read somewhere when you count all the offshoots and the forks is like 600.
Yeah, that might be it.
Well, it's all part of freedom, so I guess it's all good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather have too many options than not enough, I guess. But it'd be better
Yes,
if we...
yes.
And that's kind of why
Yeah.
I like these channels where we can kind of introduce people to the topics and figure it out,
Right.
Mint does not play well on HP.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently.
Well, I've said that Linux is predictably unpredictable depending on hardware.
Actually, I gave last year for Christmas, I gave a friend of mine a USB stick configured with Linux Mint, and we could not get it to work on the HP laptop. We were able to get it to work on the desktop. I don't remember what version the desktop is, though.
Okay.
But
All
I
right.
was able to get... I thought it was a problem with not being able to boot into Linux at all, but I was able to get the thing into Tails.
Okay.
What is the
I
latest...
looked at LXLE I was looking at a few days ago.
Oh, yeah?
That's a fast one. LXLE's fast, yeah.
Huh, I'll have to look into that. What is the latest kernel of your Linux Mint? Like Linux Mint total, I think are they on like 410 or 411 maybe? I still run
Maybe even, yeah.
I still run slightly older ones just because it works and I'm not gonna risk breaking it for that.
Yeah. If it works, I just leave it. Yeah. Yeah.
Chip says hello to both of us.
Hello.
You guys should do this more often. It's a great match. Well, we'll talk
Yeah, this
about
was
it.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
this was fun. We
absolutely.
just happened to be around today, and like I said, tomorrow's Christmas Eve. I don't know if I'll
Yeah.
be on at 1. I think I mentioned last week I'd be on at 1 p.m. Maybe. I won't announce it because I don't want to announce it, then I won't be on and
Yeah.
cheat you guys. But if I will be on tomorrow, it'll be about 1.
I-
Just check the channels.
Good, very good. Yeah, I will be releasing a video, but it will not be live. I have the entire Nextcloud working, including the online Collabora section where I can actually edit documents online now.
Okay.
Which was a very complicated thing. I'm going to do that, roll that out through a series of tutorials because I want to talk about installing Nextcloud. I want to talk about some of the challenges I've had,
Okay.
how to do that.
I might do a vlog.
What's that?
Go see The Last Jedi or something. I said I might do a vlog. Go see The Last Jedi. I heard the audiences didn't like it.
Well,
I
saw it. Want me to give you my thoughts? I mean,
Please do.
so it was my brother's birthday, and so I went to see it with
Okay.
him. If it wasn't
Okay.
for going with my brother's birthday to see it with him, I would not have gone to
Okay.
see it because
Okay.
I think Disney just destroyed the franchise and just decided to just throw everyone in their giant bucket and sponge out every dollar that they can out of everybody
Okay.
on franchising. So I
Well-
wasn't going to go see it. So I was expecting it to be bad, and it was better than I thought. My brother absolutely hated it. He just thought Disney just killed it, which they did. It was just too full of little one-liners and too much Disney comedy and just it was like a Pixar cartoon set in Star Wars. That's kind of what it was. or maybe a Disney cartoon set in Star Wars. I don't know. Whoever.
I liked Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't care for the Force Awakens. In fact, it almost put me to sleep because I predicted it was almost like I wrote the script. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Han Solo.
No, George
doesn't
Lucas wrote
dodge
the
a
script in
12.
1975.
Well, that was the original, right? Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
in fact, the original it was called The Star Wars. It wasn't just Star Wars. But
Yeah.
I like Rogue One. You know what's here's what makes a movie good, as it were. You feel it. You're not just seeing it, or you feel it. You feel for the characters. You get sucked in the story. And that's why I refuse to see these the Transformers and all these. It's like, Flash and $100 million. The last movie I saw, believe it or not, was Alien Covenant because I like Ridley Scott.
Mm-hmm.
He's done a lot of good stuff. The Martian, The First Alien, and Thelma and Louise, Gladiator. Oh, good movies. So Prometheus, the prequel sequel, was okay. It was kind of different. So I gave him a pass. I'm watching this one. He has an eye for aesthetics, how it looks. The movie looks really, really good. But the story's like, oh my God. In fact, I went with my friend's son. And it got so bad, like 40 minutes later, he says, okay, now how many people are dead? How many? I lost count, man. Because, you know what? It was more action than story. In the first Alien, it was more story than action. It's what you didn't see that was terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in Aliens, it was a combination of action and story, with the Marines, and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
But Prometheus was more cerebral, as it were, which is fine. Alien Covenant, I mean, the captain of of this multi-billion-dollar spaceship is a cowboy. He's got no offense to cowboys or cowboy music or like that. He's got the cowboy hat. I'm like, it doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit. But that was actually the last movie I saw. I mean, pay to see, theater. But it was disappointing. That was like a $97 million, and I think it lost money in the States. I think it made money worldwide. But I might go see the Last Jedi out of curiosity. Because I do like Star Wars universe in general.
Yeah.
I thought Road One, I thought was like kind of like a spin-off. I thought it was a good story, better than The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
So
I
they
agree with
have it has its hit and misses. But I did see an online review, and this reporter just like, what were they thinking? Was his rant? I won't give it away. But I might go out of curiosity.
Yeah, I'd catch it at a matinee where you can pay a little less.
Okay.
Is what I would do.
All right,
I
fair
mean,
enough.
I was
Okay.
happy. I paid $4 to see it.
I heard it was too long.
What's that?
It runs a little long.
Oh,
It runs long.
and we
Okay,
weren't
all
sure
right.
if it ran too long or if there was like half-hour previews in front of it for us. It's just like,
Well, that makes it like an all-day affair.
yeah, it was. I think we went there for like a 3:00 showing. I think we got out at like 5:45 or something insane like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was not the best of movies, and so it was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Farron OS, directing at you. Speaking of Apple and iOS, actually, I just saw this today. In fact, Apple is now planning for a universal app between iOS and Mac OS. So basically, like one app structure to install. So it literally is no more running an app for each system.
Okay.
So that's an interesting concept as well. And again, though, if we got Linux desktop and Linux phone working, it's already built in.
Yes, I agree. So
English Bob says hello.
market forces. Hello, English Bob.
Yeah.
Speaking of rants, he has some doozies.
Yeah, I'll have to go watch some more of his stuff. I think I was on his older channel. I don't know if I'm on his newer one at this point. Mark
Yeah.
Yates uses Spider Oak. They could implement that System D or something. Only one distro can rule them all. That is what has to happen. See,
To market it, maybe.
To market it, yes, but I don't want to see that happen in the Linux community because then what happens is whoever runs that, it just becomes the Linux version of Windows, and some corporate overlord will end up taking control of it.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Yep.
To both of us today, Looking Glass, the plugin to blame. Okay,
That was Firefox.
Looking
okay.
Glass.
Yeah.
Yep, that was what it was. In Firefox,
So they were
security
looking
settings are
for you.
two privacy boxes unchecked, and Mr. Robot and others can't install. Yeah, why is it checked by default? I think that's the problem. Analysis paralysis is a huge issue in Linux. I agree with that. Too many options. We just don't know where to go.
Yes.
Why does Linux have to be for the masses? Us elitists won't have the edge over normal folks. That's a good question, Mark. Why should we have Linux for the masses?
Strictly as an option. We do have Linux for the masses on the phone based on Gentoo.
Yeah.
And there's a billion, that's more than Apple. So obviously people like it. Now, they don't know it's Linux. They just go in and buy their, their Samsung or HTC and they're happy. So why should they have? Because we already have Linux in some form for the masses. GPSs. Isn't that, I mean, like in your car, that's based on Linux. The space station is based on Linux.
We got Linux everywhere. We just
except
not
on the
as
desktop.
much on the desktop. Yeah.
Maybe there's no need for it because you have choice. I don't know, but I think having a true Linux desktop that works out of the box, no tweaking, no customization required. Sure. But I think it has to be based on Android to get started because of the phones out there. That's a built-in market.
I think I would agree with that. Yeah. Based on that.
Short term.
So Run with the Dolphin says, Merry Christmas, y'all.
Merry Christmas.
And is Run with the Dolphin maybe with MX? I'm not sure who Run with the Dolphin is, but Chip directs a comment to him. Finally tried MX. I might say, wow, very nice job, which I agree. MX Linux is really rocking. That is good.
Okay.
The Michael J. Show switched to Brave browser a couple months ago, and I started hearing Firefox shenanigans and loves it. Yeah, I think I personally have not used Brave because they have their own shenanigans I'm not very keen on. So, but that's good that its other options are out there. That's what I like to see. Shout welcome. Let's see, Vivaldi. I'm happy on WaterFox for now. Greetings, Shutter. Jason Elliott. Greetings. Jason Elliott talks about Thunderbird. Yeah, that's something we don't hear about. Thunderbird, isn't that the same company as Firefox?
I believe so. I think
so. So then that raises fun questions. What do we do about our email? I personally like Evolution more than Thunderbird myself, for my business emails at least. I do use Thunderbird.
It seems to work, so I use it. Yeah, it seems to work. So,
Vamsy, hello everyone. And let's see, which more distros had penguins in their boot up. Okay, we have lots of Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to everyone who's saying Merry Christmas. Okay, there's a tab on the first install that lets you know what they're going to do, but no one reads it. Well, that tab is just asks what information would you like to connect. I'm thinking you're referring to Firefox. Yes. I don't see that referring to anything else, but I don't know. That Elvis talks about Minix OS. Ooh, let's do some Minix. I don't know much about the Minix other than it's something installed by processors. I need to look into that some more. Don't turn it on by default, and just don't ask on uninstall. Twitch TV is the Amazon Tube.
Okay.
Cubes is based on...
Twitch is okay.
Okay, so Cubes. If I'm understanding my guess correctly, the latest Cubes, does it now only come shipped with Fedora? Because the one I had shipped with Fedora and Debian, which made it huge.
I don't have a clue.
Okay, yeah. I think I saw the latest Cubes is just based on Fedora, but you could install the other ones.
Okay. All right.
Kind of sad for me, but I actually changed all my systems to Debian that were usable systems anyway. Just I'm more familiar with Debian. Let's see. Oh boy, I lost my place in the comments again. YouTube really needs to fix this thing. Yeah, we are not even going to get to the bottom of comments. I'm less than halfway through. Tom, will you be doing any tutorials on self-publishing books? Also, steps to write your own book. NK, I do have one tutorial on self-publishing out there already. Maybe I will need to do some more. Maybe break it down and do books on writing your own books. Those are great ideas. I'm actually going to write those down, and I think I will do that. Tutorials on book writing. Book writing and publishing. Yeah, I do have individual videos on how I formatted the book. And basically, my last book was entirely written and entirely produced exclusively on Linux with open source software. So yeah, I'll actually do some more on that, I think. Frustrates me about Linux is you cannot install programs on partitions other than root home. I think you can. You just need to map it right. I mean, it's more complicated.
Yeah.
Because I install applications. Sometimes just drop them on some random folder and just make a map to it. That's what I do. Rose, hello Rose. Tam, 1954. Greetings. Farron OS. Let's see. Who knows? Need more apps software. I can't pronounce that guy's name. Excuse me. I'm a noob. Can someone recommend which Linux version I should use to run my Bitcoin stuff? I don't do anything. Do you do anything with Bitcoin? I don't.
I do. I don't quite understand how all of that works, but I do not know.
Have wallets and nodes and stuff. I know that Tails has a built-in Bitcoin wallet. Of course, that's a little bit more of a complicated thing, and then you have to set it up as a persistent drive, and then hope that nothing goes wrong with the USB stick. But as far as that, I don't know much about Bitcoins enough to recommend which version. I mean, I'm sure getting on an internet search would probably give you more information than we have here.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, actually, Mark says for Bitcoin, use Tails. Okay. All right. So I guess Tails is the way to do it. Just make sure, I have a video on my channel, did it a few weeks ago, on how to configure a persistent volume on Tails. Follow that. Make sure you have a persistent volume going before you do it. And that's actually what Mark is saying. So it looks like Mark's all over the answers on that. Very cool. Okay. Total OS. I have plenty of monitors. I will ship you one, but they're all about that size or smaller. Mark, next time I need some monitors, I'm going to ask you for some, man.
Thank you.
We'll work some out, because I have 3 monitors here, but I need more monitors. I mean, I have a switcher here to share 1 monitor between 2 computers, and I got to get on it and fix something on my VPN, because my VPN is no longer connecting since I changed my router subnet. I have to I can't SSH into it because it can't detect itself on the network. So I'm going to have to plug that VPN into the router, or directly into a monitor to do that. So, no big deal. Let's see. I'll give away some to put them use. I have 1 small and 1 router on 20, no longer need. Yeah, I don't know. Mark Yates, hit me up, and maybe we can work out on something. I can get a couple monitors here that I can set aside for small little purposes. Actually, that might be beneficial to me. So let me know. Looks like people are trying to email me. Let's see. Talking about small channels. I know a lot of channels that died. Yeah, a lot of channels have died.
Yeah.
Tux Digital has gone live.
Oh, yeah. Usually on the Saturdays, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sirius Kubuntu is in Tux Digital's stream chats at times. Huh. We're getting to the bottom here. We're getting to the bottom. I'm just kind of skimming for neat things. I'm sorry, guys. I can't get to everyone's comment on this one.
I'll be doing this all day and all night, yeah.
Yeah. I'd never buy a phone without a P2 jack. See, I'm with you there. That's kind of a non-negotiable for me, because I use headphones and portable speakers way too much. I'm not messing with Bluetooth speakers. I'm not paying hundreds of dollars for them, and if I pay $20 for Bluetooth speakers, they are not likely to sound good. Did you touch on the news that broke about Facebook's engagement bait action they are taking? I have not touched on that yet. I have not read up on it. Yeah.
Maybe next time.
I have not read up on it yet. So I saw it was existent. I just didn't get a chance to read much on it yet. Tresno says Mint runs great on his HP. Okay.
Okay.
I know it works great on my Franken computer over here, but you know, any good computers are Frankens, right? Let's see. Our theater applauded at the end of The Last Jedi.
Okay. I might go tomorrow matinee.
Okay. Back to the milking Thala sirens. Merry Christmas and God bless everyone. All right. Hey, LJ. How's it going there? LJ Pellegrino showed up. Please try Endless Toss. So that's to you. Try out Endless OS.
I think I've heard about
good.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought I had a couple videos on it. I have to look into it.
Okay.
Whoa, I hit the bottom of the comments. Talk about cryptocurrency. Yeah. I don't think either one of us know enough about cryptocurrency to talk about it at this point.
Maybe next time. I'll do some research, maybe, but that's a whole other world.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess let's wrap this up just with a couple of things.
Okay.
So first, you want to do this again sometime? And if so, when's a good time?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'll get back to you after Christmas, see what's going on. Probably right now. Probably weekends would be good for me right now. Okay. But
yeah,
I'm usually sure we can do it again. Yeah. Maybe have someone have a topic and email it to you or to me, and we'll go for our topics.
Yeah. Let's also try and get that Nextcloud streaming thing working. Let's see if we can get that going. And I'll be experimenting and doing that. So that way we can figure that out.
Okay.
What video are you working on next? Do you have a video in mind for next couple videos?
Like I said, I might do that. Like if I go see them, I might do that vlog in my car. I do those random, vlogs in the car, short, 30 seconds a minute. Okay. I might do that next. Other than that, I don't know, to be quite honest. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to be working on a tutorial series on de-Googlifying your life with Nextcloud. So I have my whole Nextcloud system is working. However, I'm going to move part of it to my own homebrewed server instead of on AWS. I just determined that the cost of just running the Calibora part would cost me $8 a month on that, but booting up another computer in my office and running it 24/7 would only cost me $1.50 in electricity. So, and I have an extra computer laying around, so I'm just going to do that.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing next. So if you haven't checked out, go to Total OS's channel over there. You can sub to him. I'm on Patreon, patreon.com/Tom M. And also you can go to switchtolinux.com/support, and you can learn about all the ways to currently support me and what I'm doing over there. Do you have any other ways to support you? You have Amazon too, right?
Yeah, I do. I got accepted as a Amazon influencer, which is I'm kind of proud of that. I applied like months ago. I was denied. I figured, well, I'm a small. But then I checked my email last month. I'm like, congratulations. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, you can do that. And like it doesn't cost you anything. Now, it's only good for the U.S. I haven't applied for the UK account. I shouldn't link the accounts. But it's strictly USA. So if you buy an Echo Dot or whatever, I get like a small commit. Like it doesn't cost you extra. There's nothing sneaky about it. If you don't get or shop on Amazon, that's fine. Or if in the UK, some of my members in the UK use PayPal. That's worldwide. You can use that. You don't have to physically buy anything. So yeah. So PayPal or Amazon for me for now.
PayPal and Amazon for you. Okay. Yep. I have the PayPal, the Patreon, and Amazon myself as well. So those are the ways you can help keep us going. Last couple guys. Let's see. So Birkin Mars just subbed you. Total OS. Cool. Thank you. Pizza Lovin' Nerd is back, and we're heading out here though. Pizza Lovin' Nerd. So. That was a great stream. We've been going for, almost 2 hours, just shy of 2 hours.
It didn't even crash. Yeah, it didn't even crash. Thank you, Hangouts. It worked. Yeah. Google, thank you. Yeah.
Total view time is 111 hours. Peak concurrent at 80, and we're at 58 right now. But I think maybe Tux Digital stole some of our stuff.
Yeah, that sneaky little penguin. Let me tell you. No.
All right.
Have you had any talk from the Russians next door yet, or it's been quiet?
No. It's been quiet over there. They might be disassembling the latest victim. I don't know. I haven't offered them pizza though either. I think I'm saving the pizza. I think I'm saving my last pizza though for when co-host comes back over. Actually, we're doing stir fry this week, and then maybe we'll do stir fry and pizza this week. I don't know. We're gonna do that.
Cool.
That'd be good.
Nice.
That'd be fun.
All right. This was fun.
All right, folks. Well, have yourself a good rest of the weekend, and I'm going to go ahead and
good Christmas, Happy New Year, be safe, and all that. Yep.
Okay. All right. Yes. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Bye-bye.